Shokon Shadow here to bring you part 4 and the final part to What If Deku Was Scarecrow. I could make his own arc to it, capture him, find out his name, but I personally don't want to do that. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, so this is the finale. Now, this is going to be... I'm going to try to make this a long video, but I just may find a way to end this fast, but I actually don't want to overthink things a lot. As we come to Deku, a few weeks after the training camp incident, no arc, as we see him in the park just relaxing and thinking. And if you watch the last part, you know what he's thinking out. But if you're just watching this now, go watch parts 1, 2, and 3 to this, or you'll be lost forever. Okay, out as he sees Eri and Mina walking in the park. As well, Mina notices him and says, "Hey, Jonathan," waving her hand. He waves his hand back saying, "Hey, Mina." As Eri quickly recognizes Izuku but doesn't mention anything to Mina. Because, for one, Eri is scared of Deku because he's Scarecrow, but Eri sees a really nice person in Izuku, so yeah. So, and as Deku looks at Eri saying, "Who's this?" "Oh, this is Eri." "Oh, Jonathan, this is Eri. Eri, this is my friend, Jonathan." As he kneels down to Eri's level and waffles her head saying, "Hey, kid," giving a bright smile as well. As Eri chuckles at this, saying, "Nope." I can't English. Hello to you, Mr. Jonathan. As well, they talk for a few hours. And as we go to Izuku's point of view, and into him speaking to himself through his head, as he said, I'm super tired. As he thinks to himself, so my fear was correct. Mina does remind me of my sister. As Izuku notices the time, And, well, he just went back to the League of Villains base after saying goodbye to Mina and Eri. As Shigaraki asks, Scarecrow, where the hell have you been? I was talking to a friend, Shigaraki. No big deal. You've been gone all day. So the boss has a plan, huh? So he has a big plan, huh? As well, as All Might says, we are planning to attack UA itself. As this very intrigues Deku, as he asks, attacking UA, isn't that a bad move, especially for us? As All For One responds with, normally, yes, but we have a good amount of Nomus that can handle the pro heroes that you cannot. As well, they prep for the attack. And they attack. The Nomus easily break down the UA gate. As all the pro heroes started fighting all the villains and the Nomus. As this was going on, Deku, Shigaraki, and Kirigiri portal in. After a few minutes, Shigaraki orders Deku to go find the UA server room. As he manages to find it. But not before running into a little friend. As he finds Eri hiding in one of the hallways of UA. As he kneels down to her, grabs something out of his pocket and says, Eri, on this paper is the coordinates of the League of Villains base. When you can, give this to a pro hero. Okay? She takes it, saying, "Yeah, yes, Mr. Crane." As he giggles a bit, saying, "Please, Harry, call me Jonathan." As he kneels, as he gets up and continues to the server room. As he gets there, plugs in a USB. But doesn't take the class 1, the hero courses students see what their quirks and what they can do. Oh, hell no. He's set to broadcast his mother's name a few hours after the UA attack has concluded. So he does that. And well, so he grabs the USB, walks off, knocking out a few students and heroes that tried to stop him, and he quickly gets back to Shigaraki saying, "Alright, I have them. Let's get out of here." As Shigaraki orders the retreat, before the Nomus could get into the portals, Mountain Lady came in and kicked them all. So yeah, after all the villains pulled it out, many pro heroes had to find their Nomus and restrain them. And well, they do that. They restrain them quite easily. As we get back to as we go back to the League of Villains base, and as Deku plugged in a USB to reveal the UA classes, quirks and names to the League of Villains, as it said, error, data not found. Shigaraki just explodes with anger, saying, "Scarecrow, where the hell are the quirks of the hero students?" As he just simply says, well, it appeared UA had a highly advanced system that's brand new. My guess is it deletes the data off anything that gets away from us, that gets a certain distance away from UA. Clever. As Shigaraki tells All For One everything, and All For One is just angry at this. But doesn't lash out to anyone because Deku's reason is believable. Well, Little Lie is believable. As we get back to Eri, as keeping her promise to Deku, she's trying to figure out how to tell a pro hero how she got the information without revealing that Deku gave her the coordinates. As she finds Mina, as she walks up to Mina, and Mina asks, "Eri, what do you have in your hands?" And she says, oh, I found this on the floor after the battle." As Mina takes this, and her face her jaw just drops as she asks Eri, "Where did you get these coordinates? These are coordinates, Eri. How did you get them?" "I saw it drop out of Scarecrow's back pocket." Huh? As Mina just says, "Why would Scarecrow have random coordinates on a piece of paper like this?" As she quickly runs to find Aizawa, she finds him next to All Might. As they do, and she tells All Might and Aizawa that for some reason Scarecrow had coordinates on him to a place. As All Might and Aizawa take it to the UA computers and just well, find out what the coordinates are. As we skip to a few hours later, All Might is just shocked. So is every other pro hero. As Alice says, why would Scarecrow have coordinates to the League of Villains base exactly? As Mirko speaks up, saying maybe he was gonna kill him all and sell their base on the black market. As All Might says, no, that's not it. If Scarecrow had these on a piece of paper, and then as he looked to Mina, saying, Mina, how did you get these coordinates of Scarecrow? And she just simply says, oh, Ares saw the paper drop out of his back pocket and picked it up after the battle. As then midnight chimes in, why would he let this information go away from him so carelessly? As All Might then speaks up again, saying, well, he is Japan's number 3 hero, and he's dangerous. So I guess he's not worried about us finding the base. As Hawks walks in, saying we need to plan an attack on the base so we can finish this once and for all. As everyone else agrees, as All Might says, Mirko, Hawks, go recon the place so we can make a perfect plan to attack. As they both walk out to go to the base, but before we get to them, we will go back into the briefing room, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Not the war room, fucking planning room. We'll call it the planning room. As they notice as everyone notices that the computer behind All Might is glowing red and counting down. As they're confused by this, as then they see the count 5, 4, 3, as our screams, it's a bomb, get down! As everyone ducks, 3, 2, 1. As an explosion does not happen. As they look to the computer and then to the desk in front of them, that's a giant tablet on legs, as it reads, this is the mother of Scarecrow. As it reveals Scarecrow's mother, which I'm not gonna spoil just yet. As well, we come to Mirko and Hawks. As they reach the front of UA, they see the same thing. As we'll skip to 3 months after that, Mirko and Hawks have been going to the base every day to recon it, so they can come up with the perfect strategy to win. As they do that, they finished finalizing anything and everything, and they attack. They just as well. They attack. All four like battle each other like normal. As this is when Class 1A notices Scarecrow walking back into the base. As well, as all of them rush, Buddy closes the door and locks them. But then, to their surprise, a metal door that's next to them opens up when they walk in to try to find Scarecrow. As we skip to an hour later, All Might and Off One would have drawn at this point, as all the heroes are rounding up villains and trying to rescue them, and trying to, as Endeavor, Midnight, Mount Lady, and Mirko are storming the League of Villains base, trying to find Class 1A because they noticed that they were gone. As by this time, Class 1A would have gotten deep into the facility, where to their surprise, they see a knocked out Toga, Darby, Shigaraki, and Kurogiri. And then they notice a light on the far end of the hallway. As they get closer to the door, they see Scarecrow's gear and his liquid fear toxin on the ground, as they're all confused. As then, when they get to the door, they see his mask on the floor, ripped in two. As they open the door, and to their surprise, Scarecrow is just sitting there with his head down. No mask, no hood. As they're skeptical about a trap, as Deku speaks up saying, "There's no traps. Come and get me." What do you want, Lachlan? So about an interruption, guys. Now, as Mina walks in, as well. As Mina walked in, Deku put his head up, and Mina just stops in her track, very shocked. As everyone notices this, and Momo asked, Mina, you know this? You know him? As she nods her slowly, saying, yes, that's Jonathan Crane, the friend I told you about. He's the number 3, the number 3 villain was your friend, Mina? Yes, but I didn't know. As Todoroki speaks up, saying, but Jonathan Crane isn't your real name, is it? As everyone just looks at Todoroki and then back to Deku as he says, yes, Jonathan Crane is not my real name. Then, as by this time the heroes would have found the knocked out bodies, Mirako would have checked one to see if he was breathing, and he was. So they got some of the lesser known heroes down there to take the bodies up. As then they noticed the hallway, and they notice all of Deku's gear and mask with them too. As they stop at the door, as they hear Deku say, no, that's not my real name. As then he just says, there's 3 pro heroes outside that door. They can come in as well. As they're surprised to know what? That he knew they were there. As Endeavor walks in, Mirako following behind him, and I believe I put Midnight there? I can't remember. Yeah, Endeavor, Mirako, and Midnight. Yeah, that's what I'll do. As Endeavor walks in, what's your real name then, Scarecrow? As he says, Endeavor. By now you would have already known who my mother is, so you already know my last name. As before Endeavor could answer, Mirako walks up saying, Izuku, my baby boy. Yes, Mirako is this dude's mother. Izuku's name is Izuku Ugisag. Fucking on, guys, I need to learn how to pronounce the fucking bitch. Ugiyama, that's how you pronounce it. But not exactly. I have a speech impediment, sort of. I don't know what it is. But I pronounce words weird. So yeah. This dude's name is Izuku Ugiyama. As all the 1A students are shocked at the new number 5 hero has a son that's Japan's number 3 villain. As Mirako walks up to him and gives him a great big hug, crying a little bit, saying, I missed you, my big tough boy. As this is when Izuku starts crying, saying, yeah, I know. As this is when the police come down. As Milko doesn't want her son to go to jail, but she knows he has to answer for what he done. And she just stepped aside and let the police take him. As Deku just goes willingly. He puts his hand up for the quick cancelling cuffs, and they take him back to Iron Asylum. As they now know his name, because with the blast that he gave the heroes when they first learned League of Villains base location, he put his name back on everything that had his name, including the police. No, not the police. The hospital's digital version of his birth certificate, and on that he has his mother's name on it as well, which is Remi Ugiyama. As this time he's put into max security, and he has a special cell just made for him. As it's a cell that has well, that is a cell that has quirk cancelling walls, meaning as long as he's in his max security cell, he cannot use his quirk. As from time to time, Miyoko would visit Deku and also attend some of his therapy sessions, as he does get better. As well, Class 1A does have a field trip to the Iron Asylum, as everyone's confused by this, and as Miracle walks in saying, I'll be attending too, as they're even more confused. As they get to the asylum, they do the normal tour, but then they head into the max security area, as they're confused why they're back here with a ton of guards. As when they finally reach Izuku's cell, Aizawa tells them to stop at it, as they're even more confused. As the security guard that was with him opens his cell door, and he walks out without anyone touching him. And, well, not anyone touching him. As soon as the security door closed, his mother, Miyako, hugged him. As Ida says, Aizawa Sensei, he's a dangerous villain. Why would they let him out so easily? As Miyako says, his mental state has sort of been fixed. His therapist told me that he's free to leave the asylum on a warning to be sought. This brings up even more questions for us as Momo jumps in saying, what do you mean, kind of a warning? As Aizawa elaborated that as long as Deku doesn't do any villainous acts for the next year, he's technically still a patient here, but he gets to go home and do all that. As the warden of the asylum walks in saying, "That's not all." As Mirko asks, what do you mean, sir? As well, he still has his probation for the next year, or he's back here, but I also took the liberty to take away his criminal record for you so he can live a normal life. Well, as normal as he can get up for what happened to him when he was younger. As this just makes Mirko extremely happy. As well, they go home. And as well, we get to the next day at UA. As the class walks in, they see Izuku at the back of the class. As they're confused again, as Aizawa walks up behind them saying, "He's in here at the request of his mother," as they jump into the classroom because they were scared. As he asks, what do you mean by the request of his mother? As then Izuku starts talking, saying, "My mother believes this is the best way for me to stay out of trouble for the next year. And I sadly agree." As Aizawa chimes in saying, most of the pro heroes don't agree, but they really don't want to see an angry Mirko, so they have to put up with it. And Mirko asks for us to, if he goes on a small rampage in training, we really aren't allowed to say anything to the police. As Ida literally yells, "Why would Nezu agree to that?" As Aizawa simply states, "Angry Mirko. Even Nezu's scared of angry Mirko." As that's it. This is the end of the final part of this What If. Now, I'm gonna do something that's completely funny. As well, I'm not gonna go to back to my my mother of all vampires deku, because, well, one, I have the timeline ready, so that's not a concern. But all my what ifs so far have been just My Hero Academia what ifs. So I'm gonna put a pause on all my Hero Academia what ifs I'm doing and want to do, and focus on some other what ifs. Other enemies. Dragon Ball, Beyblade, bloody Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh. As well. Remember to comment, like, and or subscribe, turn on that post notification bell, and peace.